exits if you need them. You can go that way. Wouldn't recommend it. Go back the way you came. It's the easiest way. Please turn off your cell phones and enjoy the show.
As I remember, Adam, it was upon this fashion bequeathed me by Wilbur 4,000 crowns. As thou sayest, charge my brother on his blessing to breathe me well. And there begins my sadness. My brother J. Creasy keeps at school. A report speaks goldenly of his prophet. For my part, he keeps me rustically at home, or to speak more properly, stays me here at home unkept. For call you that the keeping of a gentleman of my birth, that differs not from the stalling of an ox. His horses are bred better. For besides that, they are fair with their feeding. They are taught their manage, and to that end riders dearly hire. But I, his brother, gain nothing under him but growth, for the which his animals on his dunghills are such bound in his eye. Besides this nothing that he so plentifully gives me, the something that nature gives me, his countenance seems to take from me. Lets me feed with his hinds, bars me the place of a brother, and inasmuch as in him lies, minds my agility with my education. This is it, Adam, that grieves me. And the spirit of my father, which I think is within me, begins to mute me against his servitude. I don't know wise remedy how to avoid it.
Yonder comes my master, your brother.
Go apart, and I shall see how he can shake me up.
Now, sir, what make you here?
Nothing, sir. I am not taught to make anything.
What mar you then, sir?
Very, sir. I am helping you to mar that which God made, a poor, unworthy brother of yours in idleness.
Very, sir. Be better employed, and be not a wife.
Shall I keep your hogs and eat husks for them? What prodigal portion have I spent that I should come to such penury?
Know you where you are, sir?
Oh, sir. Very well. Here your orchard.
Know you before whom, sir?
Better than he before I am knows me. I know that you are my eldest brother, and in that gentle condition of blood should so know me. The courtesy of nations allows you my better in that you are the eldest born. That same tradition takes not away my blood where there are 20 brothers betwixt us. I have as much as my father in me as you, albeit I confess your coming before me is mere to his reverence.
What, boy?
Come, elder brother, you're too young in this.
For that lay hands on me, villain!
I am no villain! I'm the youngest son of Sir Roland de Boise, he is thrice a villain that such as fall of God believes. First thou art not my brother. I would not take his hand from thy throat, the other hath pulled out thy tongue for saying so. Thou hast railed on thyself.
Sweet master, be patient, for your father's remembrance be the cord.
Let me go, I say!
I will not till you please. You shall hear me. My father charged you in his will to give me good education. You have trained me like a peasant, hiding and obscuring from me all gentlemanlike qualities. The spirit of my father grows strong in me, and I will no longer endure it. Therefore, allow me such exercises as may become a gentleman. Forgive me the poor lottery my father left me by testament. With that, I will go buy my fortunes.
And what wilt thou do? Beg when that is spent? Well, get you in. I will not long be troubled with you. You shall have some part of your will. I pray you, leave me.
And no further thinking that becomes me and my good.
Get you with him, you old dog.
Is old dog my reward? Most true, I have lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old master. He would not have spoke such a word.
Is it even so? Begin you to grow upon me? Well, I will physic your rankness, and yet give no 1,000 crowns neither. Holla, Denise!
Cause your worship.
Was not Charles, the Duke's wrestler, even now here to speak with me?
So please you, he's here at the door and importunes access to you.
Call him in. Twill be a good way. And tomorrow the wrestling is.
Tomorrow to your worship.
Good Monsieur Charles, what's the new news at the new court?
No news, sir, but the old news. That is, the old Duke is banished by his younger brother, the new Duke, and 3 or 4 loving lords have put themselves into voluntary exile with him. His lands and revenues enrich the new Duke, therefore he gives them good leave to wander.
Is it known if Rosalind, the old Duke's daughter, be banished with her father?
Oh no, for the Duke's daughter, her cousin, so loves her, being ever from their cradles bred together, that she would have followed her exile or have died to stay behind her. She is at the court and no less beloved of her uncle than his own daughter, and never two ladies loved as they do.
Where will the old Duke live?
They say he's already in the forest of Arden, and many merry men with him, and there they live like the old Robin Hood of England. They say many young gentlemen flock to him every day and fleet the time carelessly, as they did in the Golden World.
What, you wrestle before the new Duke tomorrow?
Marry do I, sir, and I came to acquaint you with matter. Given, sir, secretly to understand that your younger brother Orlando hath a disposition to come in disguised against me to try a fall. Tomorrow, sir, I wrestle for my credit. He that escapes me without some broken limb shall acquit him well. Your brother is but young and tender. For your love I would be loath to foil him as I must, for my own honor if he come in. Therefore, out of my love to you, I came hither to acquaint you with all, that ye might stay him from this intendment or brook such disgrace well as he shall run into. That is a thing's own search altogether against my will.
I thank thee, Charles, for thy love to me, which thou wilt find I will most kindly requite. I had myself notice of my brother's purpose herein, and have by underhand means labored to dissuade him from it, but he is resolute. I tell thee, Charles, it is the stubbornest young fellow, full of ambition, an envious emulator of every man's good parts, a secret and villainous contriver against me, his natural brother. Therefore, use thy discretion. I had as lief thou didst break his neck as his finger. And thou wert best look to it, for if you do him any slight disgrace, or if he do not mightily grace himself on thee, he will practice against thee by poison, entrap thee by some treacherous device, and never leave thee till he obtain thy life by some indirect means or other. For I assure thee, Charles, and almost with tears I speak it, there is not one so young and so villainous this day living. I speak but brotherly of him, but should I anatomize him to thee as he is, I must blush and weep, and thou must look pale and wonder.
I'm heartily glad I came hither to you. If he come tomorrow, I'll give him his payment. If ever he go alone, I'll never wrestle for prize more, and so God keep your worship.
Farewell, good Charles. Now will I stir this gamester. I hope I shall see an end of him. For my soul, though I know not why, hates nothing more than he. Yet he is gentle, never schooled and yet learned, full of noble device, of all sorts enchantingly beloved, and indeed so much in the heart of the world, and especially of mine own people, who best know him, that I am altogether misprized. But it shall not be so long. This wrestler shall clear all. Nothing remains but that I kindle the boy thither, which now I'll go about.
I prithee, Rosalind, sweet my cuz, be merry. Dear Cynthia, I show you more mirth than I am mistress of, and what you get I will marry her. Unless you could teach me to forget a banished father, you must not learn me how to remember any extraordinary pleasure. Herein I see thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. If my uncle, thy banished father, had banished thy uncle, Duke my father, so thou would have been still with me. I would have taught thy love to take thy father for mine. And so wouldst thou, if the truth of thy love to me were so righteously tempered as mine is to thee.
Well, then I will forget the condition of my estate to rejoice in yours.
You know my father hath no child but I, nor none is like to have. And so truly when he dies, thou shalt be his heir. And when she had taken away from thy father perforce, I will render thee again in affection. By my honor, I will. And when I've broken that oath, let me turn monster. Therefore, my dear Rosalie, sweet Rose, be merry.
Oh, from henceforth I vow and devise sports. Let me see. What think you of falling in love?
Marry, I prithee do, to make sport withal. But love no man in good earnest, nor no further in sport neither, but with the safety of a pure blush, thou mayst in honor come off again.
Oh, well, what shall be our sport then?
Let us sit and mock the good housewife Fortune from her wheel, that her gifts may henceforth be bestowed equally.
I would we could do so, for her benefits are mightily misplaced, and that bountiful blind woman doth most mistake in her gifts to women.
'Tis true. For those that she makes fair, she scarce makes honest, and those that she makes honest, she makes very ill favored.
Nay, now thou goest from Fortune's office to Nature's. Fortune reigns in gifts of the world, not in the lineaments of nature.
No. When nature hath made a fair creature, may she not by fortune fall into the fire? And though nature hath given us wit to fount fortune, hath not fortune sent to this fool to cut off the argument?
Indeed, it is fortune too hard for nature, when fortune makes nature's natural, but cut her off of nature's wit.
Peradventure this be not fortune's work neither, but nature's, who perceiveth our natural wits too dull to reason of such goddesses, and is therefore sent in this natural for our whetstone. For always the dullness of the fool is the whetstone of the wits.
swore by his honor they were good pancakes, and swore by his honor the mustard was not. Now, I'll stand to it. The pancakes were not, and the mustard was good, and yet was not the night forsworn.
How proved you that in the great heap of your knowledge? I marry now and muzzle your wisdom.
Stand you both forth now, and stroke your chins, and swear by your beards that I am a knave.
By our beards, if we had them, thou art.
By my knavery, if I had it, then I were. But if you swear by that is not, you are not forsworn. No more was this knight swearing by his honor, for he never had any. Or if he had, he'd sworn away long before he ever saw those pancakes or that mustard.
I'm really, who's that thou meanest?
One that old Frederick, your father, loves.
My father's love is enough to honor him enough. He'll be whipped for taxation one of these days.
The more pity that fools may not speak wisely of what wise men do foolishly.
Thou sayest true, for since the little wit that fools have was silent, the foolery that wise men have makes a great show. Oh, here comes Monsieur Lebeau.
Oh, with this mouthful of news.
She will put on us as pigeons feed their young. Oh, that's going to be news crammed. Oh, the better will be the more marketable. Bonjour, Monsieur Lebeau. What's the news?
Fair princess, you have lost much good sport.
Sport of what color?
What color, madam? How shall I answer you?
As wit and fortune will.
Or as destiny's decree.
Oh, well said, that was a naughty trowel.
Nay, if I keep not my rank.
Thou losest thy own smell.
You amaze me, ladies. I would have told you of good wrestling, which you have lost the sight of.
Don't you tell us the manner of this wrestling.
I shall tell you the beginning, and if it please your ladyships, you may see the end. For the best is yet to do, and here where you are, they are coming to perform it.
Well, the beginning, that is dead and buried.
There comes an old man with his 3 sons.
Oh, I can match this beginning with an old tale. He
3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence.
Oh, with bills on their necks, be it known to all men by these presents.
The eldest of the 3 was Charles, the Duke's wrestler, which Charles in a moment threw him and broke 3 of his ribs, but there is little hope of life in him. So he served the 2nd, and so the 3rd. Yonder they lie, the poor old man, their father, making such pitiful dole over them that all the beholders take his part in weeping.
Alas, but what is a sport, monsieur, that the ladies have lost?
Why, this that I speak of.
Thus men may grow wiser every day. This is the first time I ever heard rib-cracking was sport for ladies.
Or I promise thee. Is there another that longs to see this broken music in his sides? Is there anyone else that longs for rib-breaking? Shall we see this wrestling, cousin?
You must, if you stay here, for this is the place appointed for the wrestling, and they are ready to perform it.
Yonder sure they're coming up. Let us now stay and see it.
Come on, since the youth will not be imputed, his own peril in sport.
Is yonder the man?
Even he, madam.
Alas, he's too young. Yet he looks successfully.
How dost thou, daughter and cousin? Are you crept hither to see the wrestling?
I, my liege, so please you give us leave.
You will take little delight in it, I can tell you. There are such odds in the man. In pity of the challenger's youth, I would fain dissuade him, but he will not be entreated. Speak to him, ladies. See if you can move him.
Call him hither, Mr. Lebeau.
Do so. I will not be by.
Monsieur the challenger, the princess is called for you.
I will attend him with all respect and duty. Young man, have you challenged Charles the wrestler? He is the general challenger. I come but in as others do, to try the strength of my youth. Young gentlemen, your spirits are too bold for your years. You have seen cruel proof of this man's strength. If you could see yourself with your eyes or know yourself with your judgment, the fear of your adventure would counsel you to more equal enterprise. We pray you, for your own safety, to embrace your safety and give o'er your attempt.
Too young, sir, your reputation might not therefore be misprized. We will make it our suit to the Duke that the wrestling might not go forward.
I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts, wherein I confess me much guilty to deny so fair an excellent ladies and gentlemen. So may your gentle wishes and fair eyes go with me to my trial, wherein if I be foiled, it is one shame that was never gracious. It killed one dead that was willing to be so. I will do my friends no wrong, for I have none to lament me. The world no injury, for in it I have nothing. Only in the world I hold a place, which may be better supplied when I have made it empty.
The little strength I have, I would it were with you.
And mine.
To pick out hers.
Fare you well. Pray heaven I be deceived in you. Your heart's desires be with you.
Come! Where is this young gallant that is so desirous to lie with his mother earth?
Ready, sir. This will have been into more modest working.
You shall try but one fall.
No, I warrant your grace, should not entreat him to a second that has so mightily persuaded him from a first.
And if you mean to mock me after, you should not have mocked me before. But come your ways.
Oh, now Hercules be thy speed, young man. I would I were invisible so I could catch the strong man by the heels. Excellent young man.
I find a thunderbolt in my eye. I can tell who should down.
No more!
I beseech you, my liege. I might be rude.
How dost thou, Charles?
He cannot speak, my lord.
Bear him away. What is thy name, young man?
Orlando, my liege. The youngest son of Sir Roland's voice.
I would thou hadst been son to some man else. The world esteemed thy father honorable, but I did find him still mine enemy. Thou shouldst have better pleased me with this deed had thou descended from some other house. Very well. Thou art a gallant youth. I would thou hadst told me the number bomb.
Were I my father, cousin, would I do this? I am more proud to be Sir Roland's son, his youngest son, and would not change that calling to be adopted heir to Frederick.
My father loved Sir Roland as his soul, and all the world was of my father's mind. Had I before known this young man to be his son, I should have given him tears unto entreaties ere he should thus have ventured.
Gentle cousin, let us go thank him and encourage him. My father's rough and envious disposition sticks me at heart. Sir, you have well deserved. If you do keep your promises in love, but justly, for you have exceeded all promise, your mistress shall be happy.
Gentlemen, wear this for me. One out of suit with fortune that could give more, that her hand lacks the means. Shall we go, coz?
Aye. Fare you well, fair gentlemen.
Cannot say I thank you. Our better parts are all thrown down, and that which stands up here is but a Quinton, a mere lifeless block.
Oh, he calls us back. My pride fell with my fortunes. I'll ask him what he would. Did you call, sir? Sir, you have wrestled well and overcome more than your enemies.
Will you go, cuz?
Go with you. Very well.
Passion pains these weights upon my tongue. She urged conference, yet I can't speak to her. Oh, then, thou art overthrown. Or Charles or something weaker masters thee.
Good sir, I do in friendship counsel thee to leave this place, albeit you have deserved high commendation, true applause and love. Yet such is now the Duke's condition that he misconstrues all that you have done. The Duke is humorous. What he is indeed more suits you to conceive than I to speak of.
I pray you, sir. Tell me this. Which of the two is daughter of the Duke that he was at the wrestling?
Neither his daughter, if we judge by manners, but yet indeed the lesser is his daughter. The other is daughter to the banished Duke, and here detained by her usurping uncle to keep his daughter company, whose loves are dearer than the natural bond of sisters. But I can tell you that of late this Duke hath taken displeasure against his gentle niece, grounded upon no other argument but that the people praise her for her virtues, and pity her for her good father's sake. And on my life his malice against the lady will suddenly break forth. Sir, fare you well. Hereafter, in a better world than this, I shall desire more love and knowledge of you.
For it's much bound into you. Fare you well. Thus must I from the smoke into the smother, from a tyrant duke unto a tyrant brother. Heavenly Rosalind.
Why, cousin, why, Rosalind, Cupid have mercy, not a word.
God, not one to throw at a dog.
No, thy words are too precious to be cast away on curs. Come, throw some of them at me. Come, lay me with reasons.
And then there would be two cousins laid up, and the one should be lamed with reasons, and the other mad without any.
But is all this for your father?
No. Some of it is for my child's father. Oh, how full of priors is this working day world!
They are but burrs, cousin, thrown upon thee in holiday foolery. If we walk not the trodden paths, very petticoats will catch them.
I could shake them off my coat. These burrs are in my heart.
Hand them away.
I could try if I could cry him and have him.
Oh, come,
Wrestle with thine actions! They take the part of a better wrestler than myself.
good wish upon you. You will try, too, in despite of a fall. But, turning all jests out of service, let us talk in good earnest. Is it possible, on such a sudden, that you should fall into so strong a liking with Sir Rowland's youngest son?
The Duke, my father, loved his father dearly.
Therefore, it suit that you should love his son dearly? By this sort of chase, I should hate him, for my father hated his father dearly, yet I hate not Orlando.
No, Faith, hate him not for my sake.
Why should I not? Does he not deserve well?
Let me love him for that, and do you love him because I do. Look, here comes the Duke.
His eyes full of anger.
Mistress, dispatch you with your safest haste and get you from our court.
Me, uncle.
You, cousin. Within these 10 days, that thou beest found so near our public court as 20 miles, thou diest for.
I do beseech your grace that may the knowledge of my fault bear with me. If with myself I hold intelligence or have acquaintance with mine own desires, if that I do not dream or be not frantic, as I do trust I am not, then, dear uncle, never so much as in a thought unborn did I offend your highness.
Thus do all traitors. If their purgation did consist in words, they are as innocent as grace itself. Let it suffice that I trust thee not.
Your mistrust cannot make me a traitor. Tell me whereon the likelihood depends.
Thou art thy father's daughter. There's enough.
So was I when your highness took his dukedom, so was I when your highness banished him. Treason is not inherited, my lord. Or if we do derive it from our friends, what's that to me? My father was no traitor. And the good my liege mistake me not so much to think my poverty is treacherous.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak!
Aye, Celia. We did stay her for your sake, else had she with her father ranged along.
I did not then entreat to have her stay. It was your own pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young at that time to value her, but now that I know her, why, if she be a traitor, then so am I. We still have slept together, rose at an instant, learned, played, ate together, and wheresoever we went like Juno's swans, still we went coupled and inseparable.
She is too subtle for thee. And her smoothness, and her very silence, and her patience speak to the people, and they pity her. Thou art a fool. She robs thee of thy name, and thou wilt show more bright and seem more virtuous when she is gone. Then open not thy lips. Firm and irrevocable is my doom which I have passed upon her. She is banished.
Pronounce that sentence set upon me, my liege. I cannot live out of her company.
You are a fool. You, niece, provide yourself. If you outstay the time upon mine honor, and in the very greatness of my word, you die.
My poor Rosalind, whither wilt thou go? Wilt thou change fathers? I will give thee mine. I pray thee, be thou not more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
Thou hast not, cousin. Knowest thou not the Duke hath banished me, his daughter?
That he hath not.
No, hath not. Rosalind then lacks the love which teaches thee that thou and duty to take your charge upon you, to bear your griefs yourself and leave me out. For, by this heaven, now that our sorrow is pale, say what thou canst. I'll go along with thee.
Why, whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alack, what danger will it be to us maids as we are to travel for so far? Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold.
I'll put myself in poor and mean attire with a sort of unwear smudge upon my face, like to you, and so shall we pass along and never stir assailants.
Were it not better that I were more than, common tall, that I did stoop me on the points like a man? A gallant curtal axe upon my thigh, a boar spear in my hand, and in my heart lie there with woman's hidden fear their will. We'll have a swashing and a marshal outside, as many other mannish cowards have that do outface it in their semblances.
What shall I call thee when thou art a man?
I'll have no worse a name than Jove's own page, and therefore look you call me Ganymede. But what will you be called?
Something that had a reference to my state. No longer Celia, but Aliena.
Oh, but cousin, what if we essayed to steal the clownish fool from your father's court? Would he not be a comfort to our travel?
Oh, he'll go loggle the wide world me. Leave me alone to woo him. Now, let's away and get our jewels and our wealth together. Devise out the fittest time and safest way that we may hide ourselves from pursuit that will be made after my flight. Now, go we content to liberty and not to banishment.
Hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that of painted pomp? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Here feel we but the penalty of Adam, the season's difference as the icy fang and churlish chiding of the winter's wind, which, when it blows and bites upon my body, even till I shrink with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counselors that feelingly persuade me of what I am. Sweet are the uses of adversity which, like the toad, ugly and venomous, wears yet a precious jewel in its head. And this, our life exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in the muddy brook, sermons in stone, but good in everything. I would not change it.
Happy is your grace that can translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and so sweet a style.
Come, shall we go and kill us venison? And yet, it irks me the poor devil fools being native burghers of this desert city should, in their own confines with poor tents, have their round haunches for.
Indeed, my lord. The melancholy Jaques grieves at that, and in that kind swears you do more usurp than doth your brother that hath banished you. Today, my good Silvius and I did steal behind him as he lay along under an oak, whose antique root peeps out upon the brook which brawls along this wood. To the which place a poor, sequestered stag, that from the hunter's aim would contain a hurt come to languish. And indeed, my lord, the wretched animal heaved forth such groans. There discharged, and stretched his leather coat almost bursting, and the big round tears coursed one another down his innocent nose in piteous chase. And thus the hairy fool, much marked of the melancholy Jaques, stood on the extremest verge of Swift Brook. Lamenting with tears.
But what said Jaques? Did he not moralize the spectacle?
Oh yes, into 1,000 similes. First, for his weeping into the needless stream. Poor dear, quoth he, thou makest a testament as worldlings do, giving thy somewhat more to that which had too much. Then, being there alone, left and abandoned of his velvet friends, 'tis right, quoth he, thus misery doth part the flux of company. Anon, a careless herd, full of the pasture, jumps along by him and never stays to greet him. Aye, quoth Jaques, sweep on, you fat and greasy citizens. 'Tis just the fashion. Wherefore do you look upon that poor, broken bankrupt there? Thus most invectively he pierces through the body of the country, the city, the court, yeah, this our life, swearing that we are mere usurpers, tyrants, and what's worse, to fright the animals and kill them up in their assigned and native dwelling place.
And did you leave him in this contemplation?
Oh yes, my lord, weeping and commenting upon the sobbing deer.
Show me the place. I'd love to cope him in these southern fits, for that he's full of that.
I'll bring you to him straight.
Who's there?
My young master. Oh, my gentle master. Oh, my sweet master. Oh, you memory of old Sir Roland. Why, what make you here? Why are you virtuous? Why do people love you? Wherefore are you gentle, strong, and valiant? Why would you be so fond to overcome the bonny prizer of the humorous duke? Know you not, master, that to some kind of men their praises serve them but as enemies? No more to yours. Your virtues, gentle master, are sanctified and holy traitors to you. Your praises come to so little before you. Oh, what a world is this one, what is comely, and venom's him that bears it.
What's the matter?
Oh, unhappy youth. Come not within these doors. Within this roof, the enemy of all your graces lies. Your brother. No brother, yet the son. Yet not the son, I will not call him son, of him I was about to call his father. Hath heard your praises, and this night he means to burn the lodging where you used to lie, and you within it. If he fail of that, he will have other means to cut you off. This is no place. This house is but a butchery. Abhor it, fear it, do not enter it.
What happened? Whither was I have to go?
No matter whither, so you come not here.
What, was I have to go and beg for food? Or the base and boisterous sword enforcing thievish living on the common road? Yes, I must do. I don't know what to do. If this I will not do, do how I can. I rather will subject me to the malice of a diverted blood and bloody brother.
Do not so. I have 500 pounds, the thrifty hire I saved under your father, which I did store to be my foster nurse when service should in my old limbs lie lame and unregarded age in corners thrown. Take that, and he that doth the ravens feed, yea, providently caters for the sparrows, be comfort to my age. Here is the gold, and all this I give you. Let me be your servant. Though I look old, yet I am strong and lusty, for in my youth I never did apply hot and rebellious liquors in my blood, nor did not with unbashful forehead woo, the means of weakness and debility. Therefore my age is as a lusty winter, frosty but kindly. Let me go with you. I'll do the service of a younger man in all your business and necessities.
Good old man. How well he appears to constant service to the antique world, where service swept for duty, not for me. How not for the fashion of the times, where none will sweat before promotion, and having that, Jews choke their services up even when they haven't. It is not so with thee. Poor old man, thou prunest a rotten tree, and cannot so much as a blossom yield in pain of thy pains and husbandry. Now come your ways. We'll go along together, and ere we have thy youthful wages spent, we'll light upon some subtle low content.
Master, go on, and I will follow thee to the last gasp of truth and loyalty. From 17 years till now, almost 80. Here lived I, now live here no more. In 17 years, many their fortunes seek, but at 80 it is too great a weep. Yet fortune cannot recompense me better than to die well and not my master's death.
Jupiter, how weary are my spirits!
I care not for my spirits! If my legs were not weary!
I find it in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and cry like a woman, but I must come for a reader.
Oh, I pray you bear with me. I cannot go no further. For my part, I had rather bear with you than bear you. For I can bear no cross if I did bear you. For I think, you have no money in your purse.
This is a forest of Arden.
Aye, now am I an Arden. The more fool I. When I was at home, I was in a better place. But travelers must be content.
I be so good touchstone. Look you, a young man in old and solemn talk.
That is the way to make her scorn you still.
Of course. If thou knewst how I do love her.
I partly guess, for I have loved you now.
No, Corin. Being old thou canst not guess. Though in my youth thou wast to strew a lover's every side upon a midnight pillow. But if thy love were ever like to mine, sure I think you never man loved so. How many actions Most ridiculous hast thou been brought to by that fantasy.
Into 1,000 that I've forgotten.
And thou didst ne'er love so heartily. If thou canst remember the slightest folly that ever love did make thee run into, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not sat, as I do now, wearing thy hero with thy mistress' praise, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not broke from company abruptly, as my passion makes me now, thou hast not loved. Oh, Phoebe! Phoebe! Phoebe!
Alas, poor shepherd, in searching for thy wound, I have by hard adventure found mine own.
And I mine. I remember, when I was in love, I broke my sword upon a stone. I better take that for coming at night to woo Jane's smile. And I remember the kissing of a bat lamb. And the cow's dugs her pretty chopped hands had milked. And I remember the wooing of a peace god instead of her, from whom I took 2 cods and, giving them her again, said weeping with tears, "Where are these? For my sake." We that are true lovers run into strange capers, but as all is mortal in nature, so is all nature in love mortal in folly.
Ah, thou speakest wiser than thou art ware of.
Nay, I'll never beware of mine own wit till I break my shins against it.
Jove, the shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion.
And mine, but it grows something still in me.
I pray you. Well, why don't you question yon man if he for gold will give us food? I faint almost to death.
Follow you, clown!
Peace, fool, he's not my kinsman.
Who calls?
You're better, sir.
Oh, else are they very good.
Peace, I say. Good evening to you, friend.
And to you, gentle sir. And to you all.
Prithee, if that love or gold may in this desert place by us entertainment, bring us where we may rest ourselves and feed. Here's a young maid with travel much, oppressed that begs for succor.
Fair sir, I pity her, and wish for her sake more than for mine own that my fortunes were better able to relieve her, but I am shepherd to another man, and do not shear the fleeces that I graze. My master is of churlish disposition, and little recks to find the way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, his flax, his coat, and bounds of feed are now on sale, and at our sheepcote now, by reason of his absence, there is nothing you will feed on. But what there is, come see, and in my voice most welcome shall you be.
Who is he that shall buy his flock and pasture?
Oh, that young swain you saw here with your while, that little cares for buying anything.
I pray thee, shepherd, if it stands with honesty, buy thou the cottage, pasture, and the flock, and thou shalt have to pay for it of us.
And we shall mend thy wages. Oh, I like this place. And willingly wasted my time in it.
Surely the thing is to be sold. Go with me. If you like upon reports, the soil, the profit, and this kind of life, I shall your very faithful feeder be, and buy it with your gold right suddenly.
Dear master, I can go no further. I die for food. You lie down and measure out my grave. Farewell, sweet master. How now, Adam? No greater heart in thee? Live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. If this uncouth forest yield anything savage, I will either be food for it or bring it for food to thee. Thy conceit is near death in thy powers. For my sake, be comfortable. Hold death a while at arm's end. I will be with thee presently. And if I bring thee not something to eat, I give thee leave to die. But if thou diest before I come, thou art a mocker of my labor. Well said. Thou lookest cheerly. And I will be with thee quickly. If thou liest in the bleak air, come. I will bear thee to some shelter, and thou shalt not die for lack of a dinner, if there live anything in this desert. Cheer me, good Adam.
I think he'd be transformed into a beast, for I can no more find him like a man.
My lord, he is but even now gone hence. Hear us be merry, hearing the song.
If he, the captive drives through a musical, we shall have shortly discord of the spheres.
Go, seek him. Tell him I will speak with him. He saves my labor by his own approach.
Why, how now, monsieur? What a likeliness that your poor friends must woo your company. What? You look merrily.
A fool. A fool. I met a fool in the forest, a motley fool, a miserable world.
As I do live by food, I met a fool who laid him down and basked him in the sun, and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms, in good set terms, and yet a motley fool. Good morrow, fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he, call me not fool till heaven hath sent me fortune. And then he drew a dial from his poke, and looking on it with lackluster eye, says, very wisely, it is 10 o'clock. Thus we may see, quoth he, how the world wags. 'Tis but an hour ago since it was 9, and after 1 hour more 'twill be 11. And so from hour to hour we ripe and ripe, and from hour to hour we rot and rot, and thereby hangs the tale. When I did hear the motley fool thus moral all the time, my lungs began to crow like Chanticleer, that fools should be so deep contemplative, that I did laugh sans intermission an hour by his dial. O noble fool, a worthy fool, motley's the only way.
What fool is this?
A worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier, and says if ladies be but young and fair, they have the gift to know it. And in his brain, which says drives the remainder biscuit after a voyage, he hath strange places crammed with observation, the which he bends in mangled forms. Oh, that I were a fool. I am ambitious for a motley coat.
Thou shalt have one.
It is my only suit, provided that you weed your better judgments of all opinion that grows rank in them, that I am wise. I must have liberty withal, as large a charter as the wind to blow on whom I please. For so fools have. They that are most galling with my folly, they most must laugh. And why, sir, must they so? The why is plain as way to parish church. He that fool doth very wisely, it doth very foolishly. Although he's smart, not to seem senseless of the bob, if not the wise man's folly is anatomized even by the squandering glances of the fool. Invest me in my motley, give me leave to speak my mind, and I will, through and through, cleanse the foul body of the infected world, and he will patiently receive my medicine.
Fie on thee, I can tell what thou wouldst do.
What? For a counter would I do but good?
Most mischievous Falcon in Chinese said for thou thyself hast been a liberty, as sensual as the brutish sting itself, and all the embossed sores and headed evils, that thou would license of what hast thou, wouldst thou disgorge into the general world.
Why? Who cries out on pride that can therein tax any private party? Doth it not flow as hugely as the sea, till that the weary berry means to ebb? What woman in the city do I name when I say that the city woman bears costs and princes on unworthy shoulders? Who can come in and say that I mean her, when such a one she such is her neighbor? Or what is he? A basest function that says his bravery is not at my cost, thinking that I mean him, but therein suits his folly to the metal of my speech. There then, how then, what then? Let me see wherein my tongue hath wronged him. If it do him right, he hath wronged himself. If he be free, why then my taxing like a wild goose flies, unclaimed of any man. But who comes here?
Forbear me no more!
Why? I have eaten none yet.
Nor shall not unless it be served.
What kind should this cock come of?
Art thou thus bold man by thy distress, or thou so brute despiser of good manners, that incivility thou seemst so empty?
You touched my vein at first. The thorny pointed bear tried to take it from me any show of exclusivity. Into my inland bread and no some nurture. But forbear, I say, he dies that touches any of this fruit till I and my affairs are answered.
And you will not be answered with reason. I must die.
Oh, what would you have? Your gentleness should force more than your force move us to gentleness.
Speak you so gently. Pardon me, I pray you. I thought all things had been savage here, and therefore put I on a countenance of stern commandment. Whatever you are, that in this desert inaccessible, under the shade of melancholy boughs, lose and neglect the creeping hours of time. If ever you've been where bells have belled to church, if ever you looked on better days, if ever you sat at a good man's table, if ever from your eyelids wiped a tear, know what 'tis to pity and be pitied. That gentleness my strong and force would be, in the which hope I blush and hide my sword.
True is it that we have seen better days, and have with holy bells been known to church, and sat at good men's feasts, and wiped our eyes of tears that sacred pity hath engendered. And therefore sit you down in gentleness, and take upon command what help we have that to your wanting may be ministered.
And forbear your food a while. Whilst like a doe I go to fetch my fawn. There's a poor old man who hath many a wearied step, limped out of pure love, till he be sufficed. Oppressed by 2 weak evils, age and hunger, I will not touch a bit.
Go find him out, and we will nothing waste till you return.
Thank you. Be blessed with you.
Thou seest that we are not all alone unhappy. This wide and universal theater presents more woeful pageants than the scene wherein we play in.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with a satchel, shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. And then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like a pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, and fair round belly with good teeth aligned, with eyes severe, beard formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. So he plays his part. 6 age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful hose, well saved, a little too wide for his shrunk shank. His big manly voice turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history. Second childishness and mere oblivion. Son's teeth, son's eyes, son's taste, son's everything.
Welcome. Set down your venerable burden and let him feed.
Thank you most greatly.
How do you mean? I scarce can speak to thank you for myself.
Welcome. All too. I will not trouble you yet to question you of your fortunes. Give us some music, and good cousin, sing.
Blow, blow, thou winter wind, thou art not so unkind as mountain gratitude. Thy tooth is not so keen, because thou art not seen, although thy breath be rude. Hey ho, sing hey ho, unto the green holly. Most friendship is fading, most loving here falling. Then hey ho, the holly. Then hey ho, the holly.
If that you were the good Sir Rowland's son, as you have whispered faithfully you were, and as mine eyes don this effigy's witness, most truly limbed and living in your face, be truly welcome hither. I am the Duke that loved your father. The residue of your fortune, go to my cave and tell me. Good old man, thou art right welcome as my master is. Supported by the arm, give me your hand, let me all your fortunes understand.
Breeze, breeze, thou bitter sky, that does not bite so nigh, as benefits forgot.
better part made mercy, I should not seek an absent argument of my revenge. Thou present. But look to it. Find out thy brother, wheresoever he is. Seek him with candor. Bring him dead or living within this 12-month, or turn thou no more to seek a living in our territory. Thy lands and all things which thou dost call thine, worth seizure do we seize into our hands, till thou canst quit thee by thy brother's mouth of what we think against thee.
Oh, that your highness knew my heart in this. I never loved my brother in my life.
What now? Turn him out of doors and let our officers of such nature put accent upon his house and lands. Do so expediently and turn him going.
Hang there my verse, in witness of my love. And thou, thrice crowned queen of night, survey with thy chaste eye from thy pale sphere above thy huntress name that my full life doth sway. O Rosalind, these trees shall be my books, and in their thoughts my thoughts all character. That every eye which in this forest looks shall see thy virtue witnessed everywhere. Run, run, Orlando, carve on every tree the fair, the chaste, and unexpressive she.
How like you the shepherd's life, Mr. Touchstone?
Truly, shepherd, in respect of itself, it is a good life. But in respect that it is a shepherd's life, it is not. Now, in respect that it is a solitary life, I like it well. But in respect that it is private, it is a very vile life. Now, in respect that it is in the fields, it pleases me well. But in respect that it is not in the court, it is tedious. As is it a spare life, look you, it suits my humor well. But as there is no more plenty in it, it goes much against my stomach. Hast any philosophy in thee, shepherd?
None but that I know the more one sickens, the worse at ease he is. That he that wants money, means, and content is without 3 good friends. That it is the property of rain to wet, and fire to burn. That good pasture makes fat sheep. That a great cause of the night is lack of the sun. That he that hath learned no wit by nature nor art may complain of good breeding or comes of a very dull kindred.
Such a one is a natural philosopher. Was never a court shepherd.
No, truly.
Then truly thou art damned,
Nay, I hope.
Truly thou art damned like an ill-roasted egg, all on one side.
For not being at court your reason.
Why, if thou never wast at court, thou never sawest good manners. If thou never sawest good manners, then thy manners must be wicked, and wickedness is a sin, and sin is damnation. Thou art in a parlous state, shepherd.
Oh, not a wit, Touchstone. Those that are good manners in the court are as ridiculous in the country as the behavior of the country is most mockable at the court. You told me you salute not at the court, but you kiss your hands. This courtesy would be uncleanly if courtiers were shepherds.
Instance, briefly, come, instance.
Well, we are still handling our ewes, and their fells, you know, are greasy.
Why, do not your courtiers' hands sweat? And is not the grease of a mutton as wholesome as the sweat of a man? Shallow, shallow! Another instance, I say, come.
Besides, our hands are hard.
Your lips will feel them the sooner. Another more sounder instance, I say, come.
You have too portly a wait for me, I'll rest.
Wilt thou rest damned? God help thee, shallow man! God make incision in thee! Thou art wrong!
Oh, sir, I am a true laborer. I earn that I eat, get that I wear. Owe no man hate, envy no man's happiness. Content with my harm, and the greatest of my prides to see my ewes graze and my lambs suck.
And that is another simple synonym to bring the ewes and the rams together and to offer to get your living by the copulation of cattle, to be born, to be bellwether, and to betray a she-lamb of a 12-month, to uncrocapated, old, comely ram, out of all reasonable match. If thou beest not damned for this, then the devil himself will have no shepherds. I cannot see how else thou should escape.
From the east to western end, no jewel is like Rosalind. For worth being mounted on the wind through all the world, there's Rosalind. All the pictures fairest lined are but black to Rosa lined. Kept in mind, but the fair of Rosalind.
All right, you so. 8 years together. Dinners, suppers, and sleeping hours accepted. It is the right but everyone's rank to market.
Out, fool!
For a taste. If a heart do lack a hind, let him seek out Rosalind. Will after kind, so be sure will Rosalind. Winter garments must be lined, so must slender Rosalind. They that reap must sheaf and bind, then to court with Rosalind. Sweetest nut hath sourest rind, such a nut is Rosalind. He that sweetest rose must find love's brick and Rosalind. This is the very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Oh, peace, you doleful. I found them on a tree.
Surely the tree yields bad fruit.
Oh, little rabbit, you little rabbit with a meddler, and you'll be the earliest fruit in the country, and you'll be rotten ere you be half ripe, and that's the right virtue of a meddler.
You have said, but whether wisely or no, let the forest judge.
Why, should this a desert be, for it is unpeopled?
No. Tongues I'll hang on every tree, that shall civil sayings show. Somehow brief, the life of man who runs his erring pilgrimage, or that the stretching of a span buckles in his sum of age. Some of violated vows twixt the souls of friend and friend, but upon the fairest bough, or at every sentence end, will I Rosalinda write, teaching all that read to know the quintessence of every sprite, heaven would in little show. Thus Rosalind of many parts by heavenly synod was devised, of many faces, eyes, and hearts, to have the touches dearest prize. Thus heaven would this Eugene's gift should have, and I to live and die her slave?
Slab.
What tedious homily of love have you buried your portioners with all, and never cried, have patience, good people.
How now, back friend, shepherd, go off a little.
Shepherd, go off a little.
Go with him, sirrah. Didst thou hear these verses?
Oh, yes, I heard them all and more too, for some of them had in them more feet than the verses would bear.
No matter, the feet might bear the verses.
Aye, but the feet were lame and could not bear themselves without the verse, and therefore stood lamely in the verse.
But didst thou hear without wondering how thy name should be hanged and carved about these trees?
7 of the 9 days I would wonder before you came, for look here what I found on a palm tree.
Show you who hath done this?
Is it a man?
Huh. And a chain, and you one for about your neck. Change your color?
I prithee, who?
Oh, good Lord. Lord, it is a hard matter for friends to meet, but mountains may be removed with earthquakes and so encountered.
Nay, but who is it?
Is it possible?
Nay, I prithee with those petitionary behemoths, tell me who it is.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, and most wonderful, wonderful, and yet again wonderful, and after that, well, who is
Oh, good my reflection, dost thou think that though I am comparison like a man, that I have a doublet imposed in my disposition? 1 inch of delay more is the South Sea of discovery. I prithee tell me who it is quickly, and speak apace. I would thou couldst stammer and pour this concealed man out of thy mouth as wine comes from a narrow-mouthed bottle, either too much at once or none at all. I prithee take the course
wise to a man in your belly? Is he of God's making?
What manner of a man is his head worth a hat or his chin worth a beard?
He hath but a little beard.
Well, God will send more if you be but thankful. Nay, let me stay the growth of his beard if thou will lay me not the knowledge of his chin.
Oh, it's young Orlando! That tripped up the wrestler's heels in your heart both in an instant.
Nay! Let the devil take mocking, speak. Sad brow and true maid.
In faith, 'cause 'tis he.
Orlando?
Orlando.
Alas the day, what shall I do with my doublet pose? What did he when thou sawest him? What said he? How looked he? Where went he? Did he ask for me? Where remains he? How parted he? When shall it see him again?
Ah, you must borrow me gargantua's mouth first. As the word too great for any mouth of this age size. Oh, say I know his particulars and more than to answer in a catechism.
But does he know that I am in this forest and in man's apparel? Looks as freshly as he did the day he wrestled.
This is easy to count actions as to resolve the propositions of a lover. But take a taste of my finding him, and relish it with good observance. I found him under a tree, like a dropped
It
acorn.
may well be called Job's tree when it drops such fruit.
Give me audience, good madam.
Oh, proceed.
There he lay, stretched along like a wounded knight.
I'd be a pity to see such a sight when well becomes a ground.
That calls my tongue, I pity, and hurteth most unseasonably. He was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, and as he comes to kill my heart!
I could sing my song without a burden that brings me out of tune.
Do you not know that I am a woman? When I think, I must speak. Say on.
No, thou bringest me out of tune. Soft, comes he not here?
What is he? Let us slink by and note him.
I thank you for your company, but good faith, I had as lief have been myself alone. And so had I. Yet but for correction's sake, thank you too for your society.
God be with you. Let's meet as little as we can.
I do desire we make better strangers.
I pray you, mar no more trees with writing love songs in their barks.
I pray you, mar no more of my verses by reading them ill-favourably.
Rosalind is your love's name?
Yes, just.
I do not like her name.
There was no thought of pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
You're full of pretty answers. Have you not been acquainted with goldsmiths' wives and conned them at rings?
I answer you bright painted cloth, from whence you have studied your questions.
You have a nimble wit. I think 'twas made of Atalanta's heels. Will you sit down with me, and we two will rail against our mistress, the world, and all our misery?
I will chide no breather in the world but myself, against whom I know most faults.
The worst fault you have is to be in love.
'Tis a fault I will not change for your best virtue. I'm weary of you.
By my troth, I was seeking for a fool when I found you.
He's drowned in the lake. Look but in and you should see him.
There I shall see mine own figure.
Which I take to either be a fool or a cipher.
I'll tarry no longer with you. Farewell, good Signor Love.
I am glad of your departure, Monsieur Lanco.
I will speak to him like a saucy lackey, and under that habit play the knave with him. Here, Forrester.
Very well. What would you?
I pray you, what is it o'clock?
You should ask me what time of day. There are no clocks in the forest.
Well, then there is no true lover in the forest, else sighing every minute or groaning every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as the clock.
Then why not the swift foot of time? Had that not been as proper?
By no sir, time travels in diverse paces with diverse persons. I'll tell you who time ambles withal, who time trots withal, who time gallops withal, and who he stands still withal.
Who doth time trot withal?
Mary. He trots hard with a maid between the contract of her marriage and the day dissolemnized. If your interim be but a se'nnight, time spaces so hard that it seems a length of 7 years.
Who ambles time withal?
With a priest that lacks Latin and a rich man that hath not the gout. For one sleeps easily because he cannot study, and the other lives merrily because he feels no pain. One lacking the burden of lean and wasteful learning, and the other knowing no burden of heavy, tedious penury. These time ambles withal.
Who doth the gallop withal?
Stands in the forest like fringe upon a petticoat.
Are you a native of this place? Your accent is something finer than can be purchased in so remote a dwelling.
Yes, well, I have been told so of many, but indeed, there was an old religious uncle of mine who taught me to speak, who was in his youth an inland man, and one that knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. I have heard him read many lecture against it, and I thank God I am not a woman to be touched with so many giddy offences as he has generally taxed their whole sex withal.
Can you remember any of the principal evils that he laid to the charge of women?
There were none principle. They were all like one another as halfpence are. Every one fault seeming monstrous till his fellow fault came to match it.
And prithee, recount some of them.
No. I will not cast away my physic but on those that are sick. There is a young man that haunts his forest, that abuses our young plants with carving Rosalind on their bark, sings odes on hawthorns, elegies on brambles, all forsooth deifying the name of Rosalind. If I could meet that fancy monger, I would give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the very quotidian of love upon him.
I think he that is so love-shaped.
There are none of my uncle's marks upon you. He taught me how to know a man in love, in which cage of brushes I am sure you are no prisoner.
What were his marks?
A lean cheek, which you have not. A blue and sunny eye, which you have not. An impressionable spirit, which you have not. A beard neglected, which you have not, but I'll pardon you for that, for simply having a beard is the other brother's revenue. Then your hose should be unguarded, your bonnet unbanded, your sleeve unbuttoned, your shoe untied, and everything about you demonstrating a careless desolation, but you are no such man. I see you are rather pointified in your accoutrements and loving yourself than seeming the lover of any other.
I would I could make you believe I love.
Me believe it. You may as well as soon make her that you love believe it, which I warrant she is apt to do than confess she does. It is one of the points that the women still give their lives to their consciences, but in good sooth, are you he that hangs these verses on the trees wherein Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to you, youth, by the white hand of Rosalind, I am that he, that unfortunate he.
But are you so much in love, as your rhymes speak?
No rhyme or reason can say how much.
Oh, love is merely a madness, and I tell you deserves as well as a dark house and a wit as madmen do. And the reason they are not so punished and cured is that the lunacy is so ordinary that the whippers are in love too. Yet, I profess curing it by counsel.
Have you cured any so?
Yes, one, and in this manner. He was to imagine me his love, his mistress. And I set him every day to woo me, at which time would I, being but a moonish youth, grieved, effeminate, liking and longing proud, fantastical, atheish, shallow, inconstant, full of tears, full of smiles, for have I passion something, and for no passion truly anything, as boys and women are for the most part of this cattle of this color, would now like him, then loathe him, then forswear him, then entertain him, then weep for him, then spit at him. And in this manner, I drave my suitor from a mad humor of love to a living humor of madness, which was to forswear the full stream of the world and to live in a nook merely monastic. And thus I killed him. And in this way I will take it upon me to wash her liver as clean as a sound sheep's heart, that there may not be one spot of love in it.
I would not be cured.
Oh, but I would cure you. You would but call me Rosalind and come every day to my convent.
Now by the faith of my love, I will. Tell me where it is.
Go with me to it and I'll show it you. And by the way, you shall tell me where in the forest you live. Come, will you go?
With all my heart, good youth.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind. Come, sister, will you go?
I will fetch up your ghost, Audrey! And how, Audrey, am I the man yet? Doth my simple feature content you?
Warned us what features.
I am here with thee and thy ghost, as the most capricious poet honest Ovid was among the gods.
Oh, knowledge ill-inhabited, worse than Jove in a thatched house.
When a man's verses cannot be understood, nor man's good wit seconded with the forward child, understanding, then it strikes a man more dead than a great reckoning in a little room. Truly, I wish the gods had made me poetical.
I do not know what poetical is. Is it honest indeed in word? Is it a true thing?
No, truly, for the truest poetry is the most fading, and lovers are given to poetry, and what lovers swear in poetry may be said as lovers they do feign.
Do you wish then the gods had made me poetical?
I do truly, for thou swearest to me that thou art honest. Now if thou art a poet, I might have some hope that thou didst feign.
Would you not have me honest?
No, truly, unless thou art hard favored. For to have honesty coupled to beauty is to have honey or sauce to sugar.
A material.
Well, I'm not fair, and therefore I pray the gods make me honest.
No, truly, and to cast honesty upon a foul slut, or to put good meat unto an unclean dish.
I am not a slut. But make the gods unfoul.
Oh, well, praise be the gods for thy foulness. Sluttishness may come hereafter. But be it as it may be, I will marry thee. And to that end, I have been with Sir Oliver Martex, the vicar of the next village, who had promised to meet me in this place of the forest and to couple us.
I would fain see this meeting.
Well, the gods give us joy.
Amen! A man may, if he were of a fearful heart, stagger in this attempt. For here we have no temple but the wood. No assembly but horn beasts. But what though? Courage! A man as horns are odious, they are necessary. It is said, many a man knows no end of his goods. Right, many a man has good horns and knows no end of them. But that is the dowry of his wife. 'Tis none of his own getting. Horns, even so. Poor men alone? No, no! As a walled town is more worthier than a village, so is the forehead of a married man more honorable than the bare brow of a bachelor. And by how much defense is better than no skill, by so much is a horn more precious than to want. Here comes Sir Oliver. Good evening, Sir Oliver. How do you, sir? You are very well met. Will you dispatch us here under this tree, or shall we go with you to the chapel?
Is there none here to give the woman?
I will not take her a gift of any man.
Surely she must be given, or the marriage is not lawful. Proceed. Proceed, I'll give her.
Good evening, good master. What you call it? How do you, sir? You are very well met. God yield you for your last company. I am very Yes, sir. Nay, pray, be covered.
Will you be married, Motley?
As the ox hath his bow, and the horse his curb, and the falcon her bells, so a man hath his desires, and as pigeons bill, so wedlock would be nibbling.
And will you, being a man of your breeding, be married under a bush like a beggar? Get you to church, and have a good priest that can tell you what marriage is. This fellow will join you together as they join wainscot. Then one will prove a strong panel, and like green timber warp. Warp!
I am not in the mind, but I were better to be married of him than of another. For he is not like to marry me well, and not being well married, it would be a good excuse hereafter to leave my wife.
Go now, and let me counsel thee.
Come, sweet Audrey, we must be married, or we must live in Audrey. Farewell, good master Oliver. Not, oh, sweet Oliver. Not, oh, brave Oliver. Leave me not behind thee, but wend away. Begone, I say. I'll not to wedding with thee.
No matter, your fantastical name all allow me out of my calling.
Never talk to me, I will weep.
Do, I pray thee, but yet have grace enough to consider that tears do not become a man.
cause to weep.
As good cause for desire, therefore weep.
I was very careless of the dissembling color.
Something browner than Judas is married. His kisses are Judas's own children.
No, in faith, his hair is of a good color.
Yes, your chestnut was ever the only color.
His kissing is as full of sanctity as the touch of holy bread.
He had bought a pair of calf lips of Diana's, and none of which your sisterhood kisses not more religiously. The very ice of chastity is in them.
But why did he swear he would come this morning and comes not?
Nay, certainly there is no honesty in him.
Do you think so?
Yes. I think he is not a pick purse or a horse stealer, but for his verity in love, I think he is as concave as a covered goblet or a worm-eaten meat.
Not true, in love.
Yes, he is in, but I think he is not in.
But you have heard him swear down right he was.
Was is not is. Besides, the oath of a lover is no stronger than the word of a tapster. They are both the confirmer of false reckonings. Besides, he attends you in the forest on the Duke, your father.
I met the Duke yesterday and had much question with him. He asked me of what parentage I was. I told him of as good as he. So he laughed and let me go. But come, what talk we of fathers when there is such a man as Orlando?
That's a brave man. He writes brave verses, speaks brave words, and breaks them bravely. Quite traverse athwart the heart of his lover. As a puny tilter that spurs his horse on one side and breaks his staff like a noble moose. But all's brave that youth mounts and folly guides.
Mistress and master, oft have you inquired after the young shepherd that complained of love, who you saw sitting by me on the turf, praising the proud, disdainful shepherdess that was his mistress.
Well, and what of him?
If you will see a pageant truly played, betwixt the pale complexion of true love and the red glow of scorn and proud disdain, go hence a little, and I shall conduct you if you will mark it.
Oh, come, let us remove. The sight of lover speedeth those in love. Bring us to the sight, and you shall say, I'll prove a busy actor in their play.
Sweet Phoebe, do not scorn me. Do not, Phoebe. Say that you love me now, but say not so in bitterness. The common executioner, whose heart accustomed sight of death makes hard, falls not the axe upon the humbled neck, but first begs pardon. Will you sterner be than he that dies and lives by bloody drops?
I would not be that executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Ugh! Thou tellest me there's murder in mine eye? 'Tis pretty sure and very probable that eyes, that are the frailest and softest things, who shut their coward gates on atomies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers.
Now I do frown on thee with all my heart, and if mine eyes can wound, let them kill thee. Now count me to swoon, why not fall down? Or if thou canst not, oh, for shame, lie not, to say mine eyes are murderers. Now show the wound mine eye have made in thee, scratch it but with a pin, and there remains some scarlet. Leave it upon a rush, the cicatrice and capable and pressure thy palm some moment keeps. But now mine eyes, which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not, nor I'm sure there is no force in eyes that can do hurt.
Dear Phoebe, if ever as that ever made me near, you meet in some fresh cheek the power of fancy, then shall you know the wounds of hope.
Christ too. No. Faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brow, nor your black silk hair, your bugle eyeball, nor your cheek of cream that can attain my spirits to your worship. You foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her like foggy self puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a properer man than she, a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that makes a world full of this favor. 'Tis not her class, but you that flatters her, and out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But, mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees and thank heaven, fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Pardon and mercy, love him, take his offer. Foul as most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. And so take her to be shepherd. Very well.
Sweet youth, I pray you, chide ear together,
sir. I'd rather hear you chide than this man woo.
He's fallen in love with your countenance, and she'll fall in love with mine. If it be so, as fast as she enters me with frowning looks, I'll say bitter words.
Why look you so upon me?
Will I bear you?
I shame you. Do not fall in love with me, for I am falser than thou's maiden wine. And besides,
I like you not.
you will know my house is at the top of all of your hard by. Will you go, sister? Shepherd, ply her hand. Come, sister, shepherdess, look on him, that's her! And be not proud. Though as all the world could see, none could please to have used in sight as he. Come to our, flock.
Oh, dear shepherd, now I find my saw of might. Whoever loved will love not at first sight. Sweet Phoebe. How sayest thou, Silvius?
Sweet Phoebe, pity.
Why, I am sorry for thee, gentle Silvius.
Wherever sorrow is, relief would be. If you do sorrow at my grief and love, by giving love, your sorrow and my grief will both exterminate.
Thou hast my love, is not that neighborly?
I would have you.
Why, that were covetousness.
Silvius,
The time was that I hated thee, yet it is not that I bear thee love. But since that thou canst talk of love so well, thy company which erst was irksome to me, I will endure, and I'll employ thee too. But do not look for further recompense than I know glad as if thou art employed.
so holy and so perfect is my love, and I in such a poverty of grace that I shall think it a most plenteous crop to glean the broken ears at the man the maiden harvest reaps. Loose now and then a scattered smile, and a little.
Knowest now the youth that spoke to me ere while?
Not very well, but I have met him often. He hath bought the cottage and the bounds that the old Carlet once was master of.
Think not I love him though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy. Yet he talks well. But what care I for words? Yet words do well when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. 'Tis a pretty youth, not very pretty, but sure he's proud. Yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him is his complexion, and faster than his tongue did make offense, his eye did heal it up. He is not very tall, but for his years he's tall. His leg is but so-so, yet it is well. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. 'Twas just the difference between the constant red and mingled damask. There be some women, Silvius, had they marked him in parcels as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not nor hate him not. And yet, I have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to do to chide at me? He said my eyes were black and my hair black, and now I remembered scorned at me. I marvel why I answered not again. But that's all one. Omittance is no quittance. I'll write to him a very taunting letter. And thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Silvius?
Phoebe, with all my heart.
I'll write it straight. The matter's in my head and in my heart. I will be bitter with him in passing short. Go with me, Silvius.
I prithee, pretty youth, let me be better acquainted with thee.
They say you are a melancholy fellow.
I am so. I do love it better than laugh.
Well, those that in extremity of either are abominable fellows and betray themselves to every modern censure worse than drunkards.
Why? 'Tis good to be sad and say nothing.
Why, then 'tis good to be a host.
I have said neither the scholar's melancholy, which is emulation, nor the musician's, which is fantastical, nor the courtier's, which is proud, nor the soldier's, which is ambitious, nor the lawyer's, which is politic, nor the lover's, which is all of these. But this melancholy of mine own, compounded of many simples, extracted from many objects, indeed, the sundry's contemplation of my travels, in which my often rumination wraps me in a most humorous sadness.
Oh, a traveler, by my faith, you have great reason to be sad. I fear you have sold your lands to see other men's. Then to have seen much and to have nothing is to have rich eyes and poor hands.
Yes, I have gained my experience.
And your experience makes you sad. I'd rather have a fool to make me merry than experience to make me sad, and to travel for it too.
Good day of happiness, dear Rosalind.
Nay then, God be with you if you talk in blank verse.
Farewell, monsieur traveler. Look, you lisp and wear strange suits. Disable all the benefits of your own country, be out of love with your nativity, almost chide God for making you that countenance you are. I will scarce think you have swam in a gondola. Why, how now, Orlando? Where have you been all this while? You, a lover, and you serve me such another trick. Never come in my sight more.
My dear Rosalind, I feel within an hour of my compass.
Break an hour's promise in love. Why, he that will divide a minute into 1,000 parts, and break a part of 1,000 partly a minute in the affairs of love, it may be said of him that Cupid hath collected over the shoulder who all warrant in part whole.
Pardon me, dear Rosalind.
Nay, I would be so tardy, come no more in my sight. I had as lately voted you than of a snail.
A snail?
I of a snail, for though he goes slowly, he carries his house on his head. A better jointer, I think, than you make a woman. Besides, he brings his destiny with him.
And what is that?
Why, horns, which such as you are fain to be beholding to your wife's for, but he comes armed in his fortune and prevents the slander of his wife.
Virtue is no horn maker, and my Rosalind is virtuous.
And I am your Rosalind.
It pleases him to call you so, but he hath a Rosalind of a better leer than you.
Oh, come, woo me, for now I am in a holiday humor, light enough to consent. What would you say to me now when I were your very, very Rosalind?
I would kiss before I spoke.
Nay, you were better speak first. And when you were grappled for lack of matter, you might take occasion to kiss. Very good orators, when they were out, will spit, and such. For lovers lacking, God warn us, natter, the cleanliest shift is to kiss.
How if the kiss be denied?
Then she puts you to entreaty, and there begins new matter.
What of my suit?
Not out of your apparel, and yet out of your suit. Am I not your Rosalind?
I take some joy to say you are, because I would be speaking of her.
Nay, then in her person I say I will not have you.
Well, in my own person I die.
No, faith die by attorney. The poor world is almost 5 billion years old, and in all that time there was never any man that has died in his own person beneficent of a love cause. Men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not for love.
I would not have my right Rosalind of this mind, for I protest her frown might kill me.
By this hand it will not hurt a fly. Oh, but come, now I will be your Rosalind in a more coming on disposition, and ask me what you will. I will grant it.
Then love me, Rosalind.
Yes, faith will I, Fridays, Saturdays, and all.
And wilt thou have me?
I am 20 such.
What sayest thou?
Are we not good?
I hope so.
Well, then can one desire too much of a good thing? Come, sister, you shall be the priest and marry us. Give her your hand, Orlando. What say you, sister?
Pray you marry us.
I cannot say the word. Nay, you must begin, will you, Orlando?
Go to. Will you, Orlando, have to wife this Rosalind?
I will.
I when?
Why now, as soon as she can marry us?
Then you must say, I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I might ask for your permission, but I do take thee, Orlando, for my husband. There's a girl that goes before the priest, and certainly a woman's thought goes before her actions.
So do all thoughts. They are winged.
Now, tell me how long you would have her after you possessed her.
Forever and a day.
Say a day without the ever. No, Orlando, men are April when they woo, December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but sky changes when they are wives. I will be more jealous of thee than a Barbary cock pigeon over his head, more clamorous than a parrot against rain, more newfangled than an ape, more giddy in my desires than a monkey. I will weep for nothing, and I, like Diana in the fountain, and I will do so when you are disposed to be married. I will laugh like a hyena now when thou art inclined to sleep.
Will my Rosalind do so?
By my life, she will do as I do.
Oh, but she is wise.
Or else she could not have the wit to do this. Make the doors upon a woman's wit, and it will out the heat of it. Shut that, and will out the keyhole. Stop that, and it will fly with the smoke out of the chimney.
A man who has such a wife might ask, wit, whither wilt?
Nay, you might keep that check for till you met your wife's wit going to your neighbor's bed.
And what wit would have to excuse that?
Mary, to say she came to seek you there. You must never take her without her answer unless you take her without her tongue. Oh, the woman that could not make her fault her husband's occasions, let her never nurse her child herself, or she will breed it like a fool.
For these 2 hours I will leave thee, Rosalind.
Alas, dear love, I cannot lack thee 2 hours.
I must attend the Duke at dinner by 2 o'clock. I'll be with thee again.
I go your ways, go your ways. I knew you would prove. Your friends told me as much, and I thought no less. That flattering tongue of yours hath won me, but 'tis one cast away, and so come death. 2 o'clock is your hour.
Aye, sweet Rosalind.
Now, by my troth, and in good earnest, and so God mend me, and by all the pretty oaths that are not dangerous, if you break one jot of your promise, or come 1 minute behind your hour, I will think you the most pathetical break promise, and the most hollow lover, and the most unworthy of her that you call Rosalind, that may be chosen as the gross band of the unfaithful. Therefore beware my censure, and keep your promise.
No less religion than if thou wert indeed my Rosalind. So indeed.
Time is the old justice that examines all such offenders, and let time try. But
You have simply misused our sex in your love crate. Why, you must have your doublet and hose plucked o'er your head to show the world of the bird is a drone nest.
oh, gods, my pretty little gods, that thou didst know how many fathoms deep I am in love. It cannot be sounded. My affection hath an unknown bottom like the Bay of Portugal.
Or rather, bottomless. For as fast as you pour affection in, it runs out.
No. That same wicked bastard of Venus that was begot of God, conceived of Queen, and born in Athens, that same rascally boy that abuses everyone's eyes, has his owner out. Let him be judge of how deep I am in love. I'll tell thee, Aliena, I cannot be out of the sight of Orlando. I'll go find a shadow and sigh till he come.
I'll sleep.
How say you now? Is it now past 2 o'clock? Oh, here much Orlando.
I warn thee, with a pure love and troubled brain, he has ta'en up his bows and arrows and has gone forth to sleep.
Soft, who comes here?
My errand is to you, fair youth. My gentle Phoebe bid me give you this. I know not the contents, but as I guess by the stern brow and waspish action she reviews as she was writing of it, it bears an angry tenor. Pardon me, I am but as a guiltless myself.
Patience herself would startle at this letter and play this swagger. Bear this, bear all. She says I am not fair, that I do lack manners. She calls me proud, and that she could not love me for a man as rare as Phoenix. Oh, odds my will, her love is not the hair that I do hunt. Why writes she so to me? Oh, well, shepherd, well, this is a letter of your own device.
No, I do protest. Phoebe did write it.
Oh, come, you are a full turned into the extremity of love. I saw her hand, 'twas a leathern hand, a freestone colored hand. I verily did think that her oldest gloves were on, but 'twas her hand. She has a wife's hand, but that's no matter. I say she never did invent this letter. It is a man's invention and his hand.
Sure, it is hers.
Oh, 'tis a boisterous and a cruel style, a style for challengers. But she defies me like Turk to Christian. Woman's gentle brain could not draw forth such giant rude invention, such Ethiop words blacker in their effect than their countenance. Will you hear the letter?
So please you. I never heard it yet, yet heard too much of Phoebe's cruelty.
She beams me. Mark how the time rides. Art thou God to shepherd turned, that a maiden's heart hath burned? Can a man rail thus?
Call you this railing?
Why thy Godhead laid apart, warst thou with a woman's heart? Did you ever hear such railing? Whilst the eye of man did woo me, that could do no vengeance to me, meaning me a beast. If the scorn in your bright eye hath power to raise such love in mine, alack, in me what strange effect would they work in mild aspect? Whilst you chide me, I did love, how then might your prayers move? He that brings this love to thee, little knows this love in me, and by him still up thy mind, whether that thy youth and kind will the faithful offer take of me and all that I can make, or else by him, my love deny, and then I'll study how to die.
Call you this chiding? Oh, alas, poor shepherd.
Do you pity him? No, he deserves no pity. Without love, such a woman, what, to make thee an instrument and to play false strains upon me? Not to be endured. Go thy ways, I see love hath made thee a tame snake, and say this to her, that if she love me, I charge her to love thee. If she will not, I'll never have thou treat her, as you be a true lover, hence, and not a word. For here comes more company.
Pray you, fellows, tell me if you know, where in the purlieus of this forest stands a sheep-cut fenced about with olive trees?
Oh, west of this place. Down in the neighbor bottom. The rank of osiers down by the murmuring stream. Left on your right hand. Brings you to the place. But at this hour, the house itself, there's none within.
If then I may profit by a tongue, then should I know you by description, such garments and such years. The boy is fair, of female favor, and bestows himself like to a ripe sister. The woman tall and browner than her brother. Are not you the owner of the house I did inquire?
Oh, it is no boast being asked to say that we are.
Orlando doth commend him to you both, and to that youth he calls his Rosalind, he sends this bloody napkin. Are you he?
Again, what must we understand by this?
Some of my shame, if you will know of me, what man I am, and how, and why, and where this handkerchief was stained.
I pray you tell it.
When last the young Orlando parted from you, he left a promise to return again within an hour, and pacing through the forest, chewing the food of sweet and bitter fancy, lo, what befell. He threw his eye aside, and marked what object had presented itself. Under an oak, whose boughs were mossed with age, and high top bald with dry antiquity, a wretched, ragged man, o'ergrown with hair, lay sleeping on his back, about whose neck a green and gilded snake had wreathed itself, who with her head nimble in threat approached the opening of his mouth. But suddenly, seeing Orlando, it unlinked itself, and with invented glide did slip away into a bush, under which bush's shade a lioness, with udders all drawn dry, lay couching, head on ground, with cat-like watch, when that the sleeping man should wake, for 'tis the royal disposition of that beast to prey on nothing that does seem as dead. This seen, Orlando did approach the man, and found it was his brother, his elder brother.
Oh, I've heard him speak of that same brother. He did render him the most unnatural that lived amongst men.
And well might he so do, for well I know he was unnatural.
But to Orlando did he leave him their food to the soft and hungry lioness?
Twice did he turn his back and purposed so, but kindness nobler ever than revenge, and nature stronger than his just occasion, made him give battle to the lioness, who quickly fell before him, in which hurtling from miserable slumber I awaked.
Are you his brother?
Was you he rescued?
Was you that so oft contrived to kill him?
'Twas I, but 'tis not I. I do not shame to tell you what I was, sith my conversion so sweetly tastes, being the thing I am.
But for the bloody napkin!
By and by. When from first to last, betwixt us two, tears our accountants had bathed, as how I came unto that desert place. In brief, he led me to the gentle Duke, who gave me fresh array and entertainment, committing me unto my brother's love, who led me instantly into his cave, there stripped himself, and here upon his arm the lioness had torn some flesh away, which all this while had bled, and now he fainted, and cried in fainting upon Rosalind. Brief, I recovered him, bound up his wound, and after some small space, being strong at heart, he sent me hither, stranger as I am, to tell his story, that you might excuse his broken promise, and to give this handkerchief stained in his blood unto that shepherd youth, which he, in sport, does call his Rosalind.
Ganymede, cousin Ganymede!
Many will swoon when they look on blood.
There is more in it. How now, Ganymede?
Look, he recovers.
Would I were at home.
We'll hie you thither. Good sir, take him by the arm.
Be of good cheer you. You a man, you lack a man's heart.
So I do. Sirrah, a body would think that this was well counterfeited. I pray you tell your brother how well I counterfeited.
This was no counterfeit. There was too great a testimony in your complexion that this was a passion of earnest.
Counterfeit, I assure you.
Well then, take a good heart and counterfeit to be a man.
So I do. In faith, I should have been a woman by right. Come, you paler and paler. We'll draw you homewards. Good sir, go with us?
That will I. For I must bear answer back how you excuse my brother, Rosalind.
I shall devise something, but I pray you commend my counterfeiting to him. Shall we go?
Will you preserve to enjoy her? Never call the giddiness of it into question. The poverty of her, the small acquaintance, my sudden wooing, nor her sudden consenting. But say with me, I love Aliena. Say with her that she loves me. Consent with both that we may enjoy one another. It shall be to your good. For our father's house and all the revenue that was old Sir Rowland's will I estate upon you. And here live and die a shepherd.
You have my consent. Oh, let your way be tonight. Thither will I go to invite the Duke and all his contented followers. Go you and prepare Aliena. Look you, here comes my Rosalind. God save you, brother.
And you, fair sister.
Oh, how pleasing to see thy wear thy heart in a scarf.
It is my arm.
I thought thy heart had been wounded with the claws of a lion.
Wounded it is, but with the eyes of a lady.
Did your brother tell you how I counterfeited to swoon when he showed me your handkerchief?
And greater wonders than that.
Oh, I know where you are. Nay, 'tis true, there was never anything so sudden, but the fight of two rams and Caesar's personical brag of I came, saw, and overcame, but that your brother and my sister no sooner met, but they looked. No sooner looked than they loved. No sooner loved than they sighed, no sooner sighed than they asked one another reason, no sooner knew the reason than they sought the remedy, and in these degrees they have made a pair of stairs to marriage, which they will climb incontinent, or else be incontinent before marriage. And there in the very wrath of love, clubs cannot part them.
We shall be married tomorrow. Thither will I go to invite the Duke. Oh, how bitter a thing it is to look into happiness through another man's eyes. How much shall I tomorrow be at the height of heart happiness? That's how much I make my brother happy and what he wishes for.
Why then tomorrow I cannot serve your turn for Rosalind.
I can no longer live by thinking.
I will no longer weary you then with idle talking. Know of me then, for now I speak to some purpose. That I do know you are a gentleman of good conceit. I speak not so much to gather a good opinion of your knowledge, and so much I say I know you are. Neither do I labor for a greater esteem that may in some little measure draw a belief from you, to do yourself good, but not to grace me. If that I do not hope. Oh. If you do love Rosalind, so near the heart, as your gesture cries out, that when your brother marries Aliena, shall you marry her? I know into what straits of fortune she is driven, and it is not impossible to be not inconvenient to you. Set her before your eyes tomorrow, human as she is, and without any danger.
Speakest thou in silver meanings?
By my life I do. Therefore, put you in your best array and bid your friends. If you will be married tomorrow, you shall, and to Rosalind you will. Oh, look, here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers.
You have done me much ungentleness to the letter that I writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem despiteful and ungentle to you. You are there followed by an unfaithful shepherd. Look upon him, love him, he worships you.
Good shepherd, tell this youth what it is to love.
It is to be all made of sighs and tears, and so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of faith and service, and so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of fantasy, all made of passion, and all made of wishes, all duty, adoration, and observance, all humbleness, all patience and impatience, all purity, all trial, all obedience. And so am I for Phoebe.
So am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for Dandy.
And so am I for no woman.
This be
Because
so I blame you.
love you. But who do you speak to? If this be so, I blame you me to love you.
To she that is not here, nor doth not here.
I pray you enough of this. 'Tis like the howling of she-wolves against the moon. I will help you if I can. I would love you if I could. Tomorrow meet me all together. I will marry you if I ever marry a woman, and you'll be married tomorrow. I will satisfy you if I've ever satisfied men, and you shall be married tomorrow. I will content you if what pleases you contents you, and you shall be married tomorrow. As you love Rosalind, meet. As you love Phoebe, meet. And as I love no woman, I'll meet. Very well, I have left you all commands.
I'll not fail if I live.
Nor I.
Nor I.
There was a lover and his lass with a hey and a how and a hey naughty now. They are the green cornfields did pass in springtime, the only pretty ring-time when birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. Between the acres of the rye, with a hey and a ho and a hey nonny no, these pretty country folks would lie in springtime, the only pretty ring-time when birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. The carol they began that hour with a hey and a ho and a hey nonny no, how that life was but a flower in springtime, the only pretty ring-time when birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. And therefore take the present time with a hey and a ho and a hey nonny no, for love is crowned with the prime in springtime, the only pretty ring-time when birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring.
Dost thou believe, Orlando, that the boy can do all this that he hath promised?
I sometimes do believe and sometimes do not. As those that fear they hope, but they fear.
Patience once more while our compact is urged. You say if I bring in your Rosalind, you will bestow her on Orlando here.
That would I, had I kingdoms to give with her.
And you say you'll have her when I bring her.
That would I, were I all kingdoms king.
You say you'll marry me if I be willing.
That will I, shall I the hour after?
But if you do refuse me, that you'll give yourself to this most faithful shepherd.
So is the bargain.
And you say you'll have Phoebe if she will.
But I have her in death, for one thing.
I promise to make all this matter even. Keep you your word, O Duke, to give your daughter. Keep yours, Orlando, to receive his daughter. Keep your word, Phoebe, that you'll marry me, or else refusing me that you'll wed the shepherd. Keep your word to Silvius that you'll have Phoebe if you refuse me. And from hence I go, to make these doubts all even.
I do remember in the shepherd voice lively touches of my daughter's favor.
My lord, the first time I saw him, he thought he was a brother to your daughter. But his voice forsworn, and I've been taught to the rudiments of many desperate studies by his uncle.
There is sure another flood toward, and these couples are coming to the ark. Here comes a pair of very strange beasts, which in all tongues are called fools.
Salutation and greeting to you all.
Good my lord, bid him welcome. This is the motley-minded gentleman I have so often met to the forest. He hath been a courtier, he swears.
If any man doubts that, let him put me to my purgation. I have trod a measure, I have flattered a lady, I have been politic with mine friend, smooth with mine enemy. I have undone 3 tailors, I have had 4 quarrels, and like to have fought 1.
And how was that ta'en up?
Faith, we met, and found the quarrel was upon the 7th cause.
How 7th cause? Good my lord, like this fellow. I like him very well.
God yield you, sir, I desire you of the like. I press in here, sir, amongst the rest of the country copulatives, to swear and to forswear, as marriage binds and blood breaks. A poor virgin, sir, an ill-favored thing, sir, a poor humor of my own, sir, but mine own, to take that no man else will. Rich honesty dwells like a miser, sir, in a poorhouse as your pearl in a foul oyster.
By my faith, he's very swift and sententious.
According to the fool's bolt, sir, and such dulcet diseases.
But for the 7th cause, how did you find the quarrel was on the 7th cause?
Upon a lie, 7 times removed. Bear your body more, seeming Audrey. As thus, sir, I did dislike the cut of a certain courtier's beard. He sent me word if I said his beard was not well cut, he was in the mind that it was. This is called the quip modest. If I sent him word again, it was not well cut, he would send me word he cut it to please himself. This is called the retort courteous. If again it was not well cut, he disabled my judgment. This is called the reply churlish. If again it was not well cut, he would say that I spake not true, and this is called the reproof valiant. And if again it was not well cut, he would say that I lied, and this is called the counter-check quarrelsome, and so on to the lie circumstantial and the lie direct.
How often did you say his beard was not well cut?
I durst go no further than the lie circumstantial, nor he durst not give me the lie direct, and so he measured swords and parted. All of these you may avoid, but the lie direct, and you may avoid that too, with and if. I knew when 7 justices could not take up a quarrel, but when the parties were met themselves, one of them thought, but of an if, as, if you said so, then I said so, and so they shook hands, and swore brothers. Your if is the only peacemaker, much virtue, and if.
Is not this a rare fellow, my lord? He hasn't been anything, and yet a fool. He uses his folly like a stalking horse, and under the presentation of that, he shoots his wit.
Then is there mirth in heaven when earthly things may even atone together. Good Duke, receive thy daughter. Hymen from heaven brought her, yea, brought her hither, that thou might in his lips.
I am yours. To you I give myself, for I am yours.
There be truth in sight, you are my daughter.
There be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
If sight and shape be true, why then, my love, adieu. I'll have no father if you be not he. I'll have no husband if you be not he, nor ne'er wed woman if you be not she.
You and you, no cross shall part. And you are heart and heart. You to his love must accord, or have a woman to your lord. You and you, are sure together, as the winter to foul weather.
Oh, my dearest, welcome thou art to me, even daughter, welcome in no less degree.
I will not eat my word, now thou art mine. Thy faith, my fancy, to thee doth combine.
Balls and wedlock hear me sing, feed yourselves with questioning, that reason wonder may diminish how thus we met, and these things finish.
Wedding is great Juno's crown, no blessed but who courting them. Time and peoples, every town loves in your heart, loves in your head. Greatest honors and renown to Hyman, God of every town. Greatest honors and renown to Hyman, God of every town.
Let me have audience for a word or two. When he second son of Sir Roland, that bring these tidings to this fair assembly. Duke Frederick, hearing how that every day men of great worth resorted to this forest, addressed a mighty power, which were on foot, in his own conduct, purposely to take his brother here and put him to the sword. Into the skirts of this wild wood he came, where, meeting with an old religious man, after some question with him, was converted, both from his enterprise and from the world. His crown bequeathing to his banished brother, and all their lands restored to them again that were with him exiled. This to be true, do engage my life.
Welcome, young man, thou offers fairly to thy brother's wedding. To one his lands upheld, and to the other a land itself at large, a potent dukedom. First in this forest, let us do all ends that here were well begun and well begot, and after every of this happy number that have endured shrewd days and nights with us, shall share in the good of our returned fortune according to the measure of their states. Meantime forget this new-fallen dignity, and fall into our rustic revelry. Play music, and you, brides and bridegrooms all, with measure heaped in joy to the measure's fall.
Sir, by your patience, if I heard you rightly, the Duke hath put on religious life and thrown into neglect the pompous court.
He hath.
To him will I. Out of these convertites there's much matter to be heard and learned. You, to your former honor I bequeath, your patience and your virtue well deserves it. You, to a love your true faith doth merit. You, to your land and love and great allies. You, to a long and well-deserved bed. You, to Wrangling, for thy loving voyages, but for 2 months victual. So to your pleasures, further than for dancing measures, stay, drink we stay. To see no pastime, I what you would have, I'll stay to note your vandal king.
Proceed, proceed. We will begin these rites as we do trust they'll end in true delights.
Wedding is great Juno's crown, a blessed bond of board and bed, with Hyman peoples, every town loves in your heart, loves every town, loves in your heart, loves in your head. With greatest honor and renown to Hyman, God of every town, greatest honor and renown to Hyman, God of every town, to Hyman, God of every town.
Like a beggar, therefore, to beg will not become me. My way is to conjure you, and I'll begin with the women. I charge you, O women, for the love you bear to Rosalind, to like as much of this play as please you. And I charge you, O men, for the love you bear to Ganymede, as I perceive by your simpering none of you hates me, that between you and the woman the play might please. If I were a man, I would kiss as many of you as had beards that pleased me, complexions that liked me, and breasts that I defied not. And I'm sure as many of you have good beards, or good faces, or sweet breaths, will, for my kind offer, bid me farewell.